So as someone who's vlogged about the University of Manchester whilst I've been here on exchange, I've gotten a couple of questions about student halls and university accommodation, and I know that before I came on exchange I was really concerned about accommodation as well. So I thought I would make this video basically interviewing a couple of my friends from the different accommodation campuses, as well as talking about my own experiences, so that you could potentially make a more informed decision about your accommodation choices. So now let's hop on into the interviews. Do you guys want to like first like introduce yourself, name, you can tell your degree if you want, that's up to you, and then just say which hall you're staying in and which campus that's on.
Hi, my name is Theo and I usually study at the University of Amsterdam, but I'm on exchange here for the first semester. I study biomedical science and I currently live on the city campus in Accommodation Hall.
Okay, my name is Meike. I'm also from Amsterdam, just like Theo. I'm studying neuroscience and I live in Whitworth Park, city campus, yeah. And I live in Dilworth.
Okay, well, I'm Mel. I hope you kind of already know, but yeah, I mean, I've already introduced myself, so I'll just say I'm living in St Anselm Hall in Victoria Park. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the cost of your halls. How much does it cost?
It's more than for mine.
Yeah,
I think.
How much did you pay? Because I know it's.
Wait, yours is different?
Yeah. Because I have a small room and I don't have a sink in my room.
Wait, so they measured the size of the room?
I think so.
I think so.
Oh my
but
gosh,
like the fact
okay.
that I have a sink and she doesn't already
Oh,
makes it.
yeah, okay.
I pay £108 a week.
Mm-hmm.
I think I pay £114 a week.
Okay.
So.
And I pay £157 per week.
How much?
157.
Okay, that's a difference.
My name's Callie. I normally go to UCSD in California, and I live in Oak House in Fallowfield.
And how much is it per week?
It's £100 a week.
Okay.
It's the cheapest option.
Location. Is it convenient? How long does it take you to get to uni? How long does it take you to get to the city, shops, etc.?
I think city campus is the most convenient location of all, because it's close to uni, it's close to town, it takes probably half an hour to walk to the city center.
Yeah, and you can leave 10 minutes before the lecture starts and you're still on time. I really like it.
Yeah, whereas like for me, it's like a 25-minute walk to uni, which is fine. Sometimes you can catch a bus, but Google Maps does not know what the times are for stagecoach buses. And even the Stagecoach app, I swear, doesn't know. But anyways, so it's like 25-minute walk, and then like potentially you could make it in 15 minutes with the bus, but who knows?
I think walking is maybe fast.
Yeah, and then like it's like, so like walking to uni, I'd say is fine from Victoria Park. But walking to the city centre is like over 50 minutes, which I was willing to do that in week 1, and then after that I was like, no. But yeah, you guys are also close to shops, right?
Yeah, we have a lot of supermarkets around us. I think
it's kind of all within like 10 minutes walk.
Yeah, it is.
So if you like ever like miss out on like something for your dinner, you're just like,
fine.
I'm gonna cross the road and I'm in the supermarket.
I think there are 4 or 5
good.
supermarkets nearby.
Yeah, that's so good. Because whereas like on the weekend, because I'm in a catered hall, but on the weekend when I have to cook and stuff and I don't have stuff, I'm like, it's 15-minute walk, but still, you know, you're just like, you're in your room.
Yeah, you have to combine it with uni.
Yeah.
So it's definitely the least convenient location, but I honestly don't think it's that bad. We don't have, so I have a bike. I didn't buy a bus pass. So I bike to uni every day, and it's like, it's a 15-minute bike ride normally. I've done it in 8, but that was like a miserable experience. So, but I know on the bus it takes about 20 minutes, but it's a straight shot and the buses come super often. I don't think it's super bad. Yeah. But it's definitely the least convenient location. Walking it takes like 45 minutes.
Which I don't think many people would.
No, I did like that the first week and it sucked. And then like to get up to like the city center, it's like a 20-minute bike ride and a 35-minute bus. Yeah.
And then walking.
Walking,
like,
you don't want to do that.
Oh my gosh.
There's also like, there's a Sainsbury's right next to us, but it's like the most expensive Sainsbury's in the UK. So yeah, because there's a ton of students right here.
Oh my god.
That's what somebody's told me. So I usually go to Lidl, which is by campus, but it's a little annoying biking back and forth with groceries. So there's not great cheap grocery options within walking distance.
Do you live in a catered or uncatered hall, and what are the pros and cons of that?
Well, we're both non-catered, so we have to cook for ourselves. I think a pro is you don't have to be there at that particular time, so you can like have your own schedule.
You can eat whenever you want,
Yeah.
whatever you want.
That's
I've
true.
heard the food kind of like it has like a regular, like it starts to get boring. I've heard.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I live in catered, so obviously the pro of that is that you don't have to cook. But again, a negative, you do have to turn up on time. And then also if you don't, then you get a meal replacement, which is okay on weekdays. But usually it's not great. And then also, I think the other thing is, sometimes I feel like guilty if I want to do something, which will mean that I miss dinner, because then I'm like, oh well, then I have to spend extra money on dinner, and I already paid for money for dinner, and so that's like frustrating. The food's okay, like I'm not that picky, to be honest. Like,
Is it healthy?
There are some vegetables. There could be more, but that's why like often like when I cook, I make like stir fries or a salad rip, because I'm like, I need them vegetables. I mean, do you guys cook at home?
Like at home, as in like it's not here.
Yeah, not here. Yeah.
Oh, like in the Netherlands?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know too.
Yeah, so that you're probably more used to like cooking, whereas like I'm not. So
Yeah, okay. It's easier if you have catered, of course. You don't have to think about it.
that's true.
I don't know. I'd rather still prefer uncatered over catered.
But maybe also because we eat together a lot, like with friends, and then
Okay.
and then you can just
Like you can pick in like three, like you can just go to the shop and be like, oh, what do we want to have for dinner? And then you just
Oh,
like,
that's cute. Oh, cute vibes. Okay. Now I'm getting more sad about this interview now.
sorry. But you also can eat with friends, like.
Oh yeah, that's what I was also going to say about catered. Like, because we do sit down at the same time, and like most people will because you pay for it. Yeah, you get to talk to people. I mean, sometimes like dinner takes an hour. Oh yeah, another con is that dinner takes an hour, and like, you know, sometimes I ain't got time for that. Like, when I've got an assignment or something, but that's just my hall. Like,
But you can't
that's
leave.
weird.
It's just you have to stay the
My hall. Well, like yeah.
Okay.
Like other halls, they're like fine, but my one is pretentious, and we wear like robes. Like, don't ask me why.
Okay. Oh, you have to wear the gown.
Yeah. Yeah.
I live in uncatered. I'm very glad that I live in uncatered, because I can make my own food. We have a pretty nice kitchen for the 8 people in our flat, although we have 2 stoves, but only one of them works. But there's only ever been like one situation.
Wait, have you reported this to maintenance?
Honestly, I don't think so.
Because like I know that someone else who's living in Oak House, they like their stove broke or something, and they got it replaced, and it's like brand new and apparently really great. Yeah.
Well, I'm leaving in 2 weeks. So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, one of our stoves doesn't work. But we have like it's like an electric tea kettle. We have a microwave. We have a toaster, but I think one of my flatmates brought that from home.
Oh, okay.
And like the kitchen's pretty nice. I really like cooking because I think that it's a good way to save money, and also I've lived in catered places at home, and the food quality varies. So this way I know what I'm getting. I can rely on like myself. I don't have to be home by a certain time.
Yeah.
The only downside is I do find myself cooking the same thing quite often,
Oh, that's
which
me
is
as well.
kind of boring. But
Yeah, like stir fries. That's like all I do.
I'm doing a lot of pasta and eggs. I'm doing a lot of like Vietnamese spring rolls.
Oh my gosh, the
And
rice paper from.
I ran out of that.
Did you actually?
Yeah, I used all like
Dang.
200 of them, and a lot of fried eggs over salad.
This is a question that I think a lot of people are concerned about, the social aspect of the hall. Is it easy to make friends in your hall? Parties, I put a question mark. I don't know what those are about. Are the people like sociable? Are there like activities that are organized by the hall that like facilitate socializing, etc.?
I think like we don't have like parties that go per house. We have a like general bar at the beginning when like you walk by the gates. We have like a bar there, and like we have like every Thursday there's like a quiz night, and on Mondays they sometimes have like a comedy night. So there are things being organized although it's then a question of,
do you guys go to those things?
no, not really, no. And then parties, well, it's just kind of like, there's no parties organized per house. It's just if you want to throw a party, then it's just you and your friends in lists.
Like they do.
Does it happen like in your flats often?
Not in my flat, no.
In mine, no. Sometimes like people take friends and they're gonna do pre's in like the lounge room kind of thing, but it happens not that many times.
I know there's one flat or like house where it happens like all the times. Garstang or Thorncliffe.
I love how you guys both know. You're like,
it's just like they're at the other side of the park, and you just hear like in the group chat, you just hear like, "Oh, pre's at my place tonight," and then everyone just like, "It's gonna do pre's."
Wait, so there's a group chat for like the entire hall?
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
I think it's the maximum amount of people, so not everyone can join it.
Oh my gosh, that's too funny.
But I think I left it. The group chat.
Yeah, I just like to read the juicy details that come through. Like sometimes there's like just useless information of like drunk people at like 3 a.m. that are like, can someone let me in?
Oh yeah, classic.
You need, one thing that's really annoying about this hall is that you need a pass to get out of it.
Yeah, that's weird.
Oh yeah.
So if you have visitors and they want to leave, you have to walk with them.
You have to walk with them all the way to the gate and open the gate for them. Like I understand to like come inside.
Yeah.
But like to go
once you're in, it's
like
that's weird.
Like you got in somehow, like
oh my gosh,
yeah.
Okay, so like have you been able to make friends in your hall, like in your flats?
I made friends with my flatmates, but I don't see anyone else beyond that. Like I come across people when I walk, but it's not like, hi, let's meet up or something like that.
Oh, okay.
I have the same. Like I know my flatmates, but I only see 3 or 4 of them most time. I don't know what the rest is doing.
Okay, so would you call them friends or acquaintances?
I think acquaintances because the people you see the most, you talk with them in the kitchen when you're cooking or something.
Yeah.
So then you talk about like what's your day and
what
have you been up to, but not.
I think it also kind of really depends on the flatmates you have.
Yeah, and how your flat is arranged.
Oh, really?
Because like you do have like a kitchen and a table so you can eat maybe if people want to, but in my flat everything is separate. I think I showed you like I have a separate kitchen and then there's a separate lunch room, but it's not really inviting you to eat together, I think.
I mean, I think that I've heard my hall being called like antisocial. I think it's because like I don't know, Fallowfield is known as like the place where things happen. It's still possible to make friends in my hall, at least. Like again, like sitting down for dinner is nice. I think the one restriction about my hall as well is because we're not non-catered, we don't have like a kitchen dining set up like this. It's kind of hard to invite people over for like dinner, if you're making dinner on a certain night, or like if you want to do something, like we don't have a table, you know, like you just need a table sometimes, like to like
just sit down and like chat.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's no room, like what are we gonna do, stand in the kitchen?
You don't have a common room at all?
We do kind of now, but it's also like you don't know if someone else is gonna be in there, and there's just a lot, like it's the whole hall that has to fit into that common room. I'd also say for parties for my hall, they don't happen because again, we don't have a situation like this. So yeah, in terms of like in-hall activities, so my hall, I don't know if your hall has this as well, but we actually have like a JCR committee.
I think we have that too. I'm not really sure. I'm not really.
Because ours is pretty active, / also because our hall is very insular, like we don't have separate buildings. So they organize debates. We have a debating representative, which is random. We also have a bar. Apparently it is the cheapest in like Manchester or something. There you go. And we have like random socials. So like last week we had bad fashion socials. So that was like dressing up in your worst clothing choices. And then we had like karaoke nights and pub quizzes. Yeah, like my main way is being in the kitchen cooking as well. And then like also just at dinner, being able to sit down with everyone and eat. There's like 150 people in my hall or whatever, so you get exposure to every single person. So I think that is good, like a good point about my hall, in that like you get more exposure than perhaps just your flat? Like, how many people are in a flat? I don't know.
I share a flat with 6 other people.
How easy is it to make friends with people not from your flat / talk to them? Like, do you do that?
Not really.
I think if you go to the Grove Bar,
Probably.
and like you go to the
Okay,
social events, I think they
Like, if you actually-
have
yeah.
friends
Yeah.
for the whole park.
Yeah, that's true.
Like if you
Well,
put
we
in
don't
the
go there,
effort to
so-
go to like one of these activities, then
Yeah.
probably you could make friends.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like every time I've seen the door open, it kind of always looked half empty, and I was kind of like,
Oh yeah, no. Like
Yeah,
our
people
bar.
just go there
Yeah.
if they want to.
yeah. I mean, you can just go there to have a beer and just chill, but then you're probably also the only one.
Oh, if you already know people.
Or if you know people.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only walked down to the bar to have a look at some of these socials and stuff, and like at 9 p.m. it's like completely dead, and it's just really awkward. But apparently at like 12 a.m. people start to drink and stuff. So like, and it's like apparently okay. I mean, I'm not a partier, so I don't really know about that.
I know there's a committee that organizes stuff, but I've been to nothing because they're fairly poorly advertised, which I commented on their recent evaluation survey. But like in terms of the social aspect, I think the layout of the like dorms, there's 8 of us living together. I think that it's a great way to meet other people. I think that especially if like you're a freshman, it's a really, really good way to get involved. Everybody's in like the same sort of situation. I really like all my flatmates. I haven't like gone out with them, but they're all very nice, and I think that they like, I know a lot of them have had a really good time, and a lot of people that are in this sort of area in these situations are really, really close with their flatmates. So I think it's a really good way to get to know people and be really social. Everyone here is really, really sociable and really nice.
Parties, did you want to comment about that?
I haven't like gone to any with the people that I live here, but they seem to be having a good time. It's a little bit noisy.
Is your hall loud or quiet? Because some people are concerned about being able to study in their rooms and being able to sleep in their rooms at night.
I think it's quiet. I can sleep and study in my room.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Mine's really like quiet.
I think it kind of like in our case, it also depends who you have in your flat.
Yeah.
Because I know
Yeah.
I live in like my door is like next to 2 other doors. So I think like if you start blowing your hair, like drying it in like a room, I could hear the hair dryer being on.
Yeah, that's true. I think the walls are really thin, so
Yeah,
if
I
someone's
think so
listening
too,
to
yeah.
music and you are outside the door, you can hear it.
Yeah. But like
It's the same
in general,
Yeah.
it's pretty quiet.
Yeah.
So the walls aren't super thick, but I mean, as long as you have a good like rapport with your flatmates and like tell them if you need quiet at a certain time. Haven't had any like major issues with them.
Okay.
Yeah. On the weekends, like if they're having a party, like it's loud, but
Yeah.
I haven't. I mean,
Are you still able to sleep through that?
I usually don't, but you know, it's the weekend, they're freshmen. It's fine.
Okay. Cleanliness. Do you find the hall clean? Because like, I mean, my hall, there were people saying that there were like bugs on the ground floor. I haven't found that to be true. Yeah, okay, there's occasional cockroach, not gonna lie. I've raided some of the cockroaches, but like, in general, there's like no bugs.
Well, I find it always really clean, but that's because we also tend to keep it clean. So no one kind of leaves their rubbish behind, or they throw it actually in the garbage can instead of like next to it.
Oh, that's
So
good.
it's kind of like we just like, I think we all enjoy having a clean kitchen and bathroom.
That's good.
So
I think our kitchen is a little bit more clean than mine, but my kitchen is also really small. So if people don't put their dishes like away in the cabins, but they put it
just on the sink.
just on the sink, then like the sink is full already, so it looks less clean.
Yeah. I mean, that's true for my. Like, I think my kitchen's way dirtier. Like, genuinely. Maybe it's because we're all lazier because we live in catered halls, and you know, like
They don't care
selection
anymore.
bias. But like, yeah, I mean, because we have a rubbish rota. I don't know. Do you have a rubbish rota? Like, as in a list of rooms that like who's never take the rubbish out, or
we
does
don't.
someone just take it out?
Well, it's just kind of like whenever you have the time and you're going outside, please take the garbage can with you.
Yeah.
Damn, you guys are so nice. Whereas Alice, we have designated people, and even
they
then,
don't do it.
they don't do it.
Yeah.
And like,
That's
oh,
annoying.
that's so bad. I read reviews about cleaners stealing your food. Has that ever happened to you?
I've never heard this.
I've
I
not
don't
noticed.
think so.
Okay, cool.
I think that's because like I have my cleaner comes on Monday and on Wednesday, and on Wednesday I'm always in the kitchen when she cleans. So I feel like I'm keeping an eye on her, but like I've never seen her walk out, or I've never seen any food gone.
Yeah.
No, me neither.
Yeah, no, like, and like the cleaners in my hall are just really lovely. I'm assuming this isn't true, but I did read some reviews about Hall and mice. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I've heard some stories.
I've heard some stories too.
They're probably mice and rats. I've seen a rat outside.
Oh.
Yeah. I've heard like.
Okay. I was like, this probably isn't true.
No,
in the app, I think I've heard in the app that they were like, guys, there's like mice around the corner,
yeah.
and then they were like, kill it, or
Like in your kitchen?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well,
but
not in my house, but
no.
I think in the first place, to have a mice up in this kitchen, it'd have to walk all the way up. So
True.
that's probably
They can.
like they can, of course they can, but I
Always.
think like it's probably you'll probably have the mice on like the kitchens that are on like ground floor and everything like that. But I've never had.
Okay,
trouble.
so there are stories of mice
Yeah.
in Whitworth Hall.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
I saw a rat outside.
And a rat.
I think
Okay.
very recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that like our Res Life staff member is really very thorough and really nice. I mean, our place isn't super clean, but that's not really the
Yeah, as
fault.
in it's like, yeah. Yeah, no, I get that. Like, I mean, it's just like for me, like, I don't know, because your communal areas, are they cleaned by...
Yeah, like twice a week.
Mm.
They're cleaned by members of the staff, and our bathroom's cleaned twice a week too, which is nice. I mean, yeah, they're not super clean places, but that's not the Res Life.
Yeah. And then last, like, proper question, safety. Do you feel safe walking around your hall at night? Do you feel safe in the hall, etc.?
I feel safe.
Me too.
I feel safe. I think it's mainly also because we have like a huge gate around our whole park,
Yeah.
and knowing that you can't get out or in without your student card is kind of like you're not going anywhere if you don't have your student card with you.
Yeah.
Unless they follow you or something.
Unless they follow you. But
I
that's
always
kinda-
check it at night
Yeah.
if someone's following me. It's really good.
Yeah.
Like,
And then I mean you need like 3 different keys to like.
Oh, true.
Go into
You have
one,
so
yeah.
many doors to
Yeah.
get through, like, it's crazy.
and
Yeah.
I also think because we're close to uni and like to the shops and the restaurants here, there are always people outside.
Mm.
Yeah. So
That's
it's not
true,
like
yeah.
you're kind of walking like in a creepy dark alley or
No.
road.
No.
Yeah.
That's good.
I mean, like, Victoria Park is safer than other places, but, like, you do have to, like, walk a certain way. Well, you don't have to, but it's just, like, risk minimizing. Like, don't walk along the Curry Mile, you know? Like, walk in the back streets from, like, Little towards, like, the Dalton Ellis and then get to St. Anselm Hall, because, like,
That's also
that's
quite
safer.
dark.
It is pretty dark. I think because we're kind of close to rush hour, like that area is not the safest. But in terms of my hall itself, you need key cards to get in. I don't think our security is as tight as yours. You can kind of walk straight to the door, at least, and you can walk out without a card. So
Yeah, that's good. I don't understand why I can't
I don't
walk.
understand the system
yeah,
here.
no, that doesn't really make sense to me either. But yeah. Also, I will say though, being on the ground floor, I have heard stories of people having their stuff stolen. So
Yeah, that's bad.
that is
Through
something.
the window.
Yeah.
Mm.
But it hasn't happened to me, and I'm on the ground floor. So
That's good.
that's good. But yeah, so I think it's not too bad in terms of safety, but I do feel like I'm a little concerned if I'm walking home at night.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Myself.
It's very dark around Victoria.
It is.
In my hall, feel super safe. I mean, everything. There's 2 different keys to get into like the actual apartments. I know Fallowfield has a bit of a poor reputation in terms of safety as an area, and I've heard of, you know, crime happening in the area. But there's like security guards at the entrance to the complex, to the like Fallowfield little complex, which is nice. And I haven't had any issues, but I do know that it's not as safe of an area as like the other areas.
Yeah, I think that's the general reputation
Yeah.
of Fallowfield. Final question. Any other pros and cons that you would like to address, and ultimately, would you recommend your accommodation?
I don't know about like.
Oh.
It's okay here. I mean, I'm only here for half a year. It's cheap, and my room is fine, so it's okay. But I know a lot of people don't like Whitworth Park. Like, if you ask second years or third years, they're like, oh, you're in Whitworth Park. They even call it Whitworth Park.
I'm gonna have to put a paper.
So, I think that's
Wait, why is that?
Because, I mean, the housing is like really crap. Like,
It's really old.
The buildings in Whitworth Park have been here since 1970.
Yeah. Did your research.
I did my research. No, they've been here like forever, and I read that not long ago they actually had to start a petition to ask if they could repair the building or like renovate it because it was literally like falling apart.
Yeah, it's so
And I mean, like, if you have to start a petition for that, then it's kind of just like
they don't care that
they
much.
don't really care. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh well, you have a kitchen and you have a toilet, you'll manage.
Yeah. I think if you look at the other rooms we've been, they're quite nice. Like, the buildings are also old, but not this old, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wait, where else have you been?
We've been to Denmark Road.
Oh, Denmark Road's really
But
new.
that's really really
That's
new.
really new,
But
yeah.
it's way more expensive than I think it's
I think
just
it's the
kind
same
of like
price as mine. But like you get your bathroom and it's not catered or whatever.
Yeah.
And it looks like a hotel.
And it looks like a
And they have a
hotel.
TV.
and you
In your room?
No, it's
no,
in the common room.
Oh, we have a TV room.
The TV room?
Yeah.
Like the whole wall? Or
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
yeah, we don't have that. I think it's kind of just
We
like
don't.
it's either you have your comfort over distance.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I think it's the further you go away from town,
Yeah.
the more comfort and the better.
Not always.
Well,
In
not
Fairfield,
always
I
that.
don't know.
No,
And you just like
no, but like some of the houses in like Fallowfield, like Unsworth Park, is like brand new. They like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
brand new ones.
like the brand new ones are
Yeah.
like fantastic. That's
Yeah.
like walking into a hotel and
Yeah.
yeah.
I've also heard in Victoria Park, I've heard Hume Hall is pretty nice as well.
Yeah, I think if you don't mind living with a bit less comfort and a bit less tidiness, then
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's close to you.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's cheap.
it's cheap.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, actually, like, honestly, one of my main concerns about Whitworth Park was that it was antisocial, it had mice, because these are all the reviews that went this,
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah.
and that the rooms were very small. I was like,
it's also true. No, yours not good. Mine.
I managed to squeeze 3 people in my room extra,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
sleeping.
extra.
Yeah, extra.
Oh my. Well, like, I didn't think your rooms are that bad, to be honest. I was, like, even your room, like, I didn't think it was, I mean, it's pretty small.
Yeah, it has everything you need.
But
it's
like,
just,
it's not unlivable, like,
no,
yeah.
no. Especially for half a year. I mean,
yeah.
time flies.
Yeah, true. Like, same for me. Like, the reason why I was kind of willing to splash out on the accommodation, like, if I was at home, I would not have done this, like, you know. But because I was here for half a year, I was like, I want to have the best experience I can, and I thought that going for this accommodation would help me do that, because on the reviews it was good. And I will say that, like, yeah, like, I think the main thing that I was concerned about was the social aspect as well, like being able to make friends. I was like, I don't want it to be super antisocial, which is what other places have that said about them. And then I also wasn't a party person, so I avoided Fallowfield because
Yeah.
that's just, and so like I was like, ooh, balance, like Victoria Park area. And then I read about slums and like the catered food vibe. I was like, yeah, okay, I won't die. So yeah, ultimately I would recommend where I live. I think it's nice, but like it always also depends on the people you live with. Like if you have great people living around you, it makes it so much better. But like, yeah, it depends what you're looking for. You've heard our opinions, so I guess it's up to you now to make a decision. Anyways, thank you, Theo and Meike, for joining me today.
One big pro is there's a huge computer lab right here, like within like two minutes walk outside of my door, which is nice because I don't have a laptop. And it gets a little bit busy, but it's open 24/7. And it's really, really convenient, especially like if it's a weekend and you're trying to get some work done and maybe your flatmates are being a little noisy. Like it's super, super convenient to work there. There's also a really cool bar called Squirrels that's right here, although I know all the student accommodation has.
But like Squirrels is quite like an active bar, isn't
Yeah,
it?
no, it's pretty active. Big names come to do comedy music stuff. I haven't seen it, but so I've heard. But it's a nice, you know, it's a cheap student bar. It's fun.
Do you have any cons?
Do I have any cons? I'd say like the biggest con is probably the location, but it's not even that bad, especially when you weigh it with the price.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And would you recommend it then?
Oh yeah, I would definitely recommend it. I think especially if you're a freshman or a fresher, it's much easier. It's a super easy place to get to know a lot of people. Wherever you go, I think uncatered is the way to go, unless you really can't cook. Even if you can't cook, like, you can figure it out. You're gonna have to figure it out for the rest of your life. Not throwing shade at you or anything. But
real.
Definitely the uncatered aspect's great. The price is great. And I really like my room. It's much bigger than my room at home.
Really?
Oh my god. Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Miles bigger. I had probably 3 people in a space, maybe 1.5 times this size when I was a freshman. Yeah, welcome to California.
Do you guys all live in one room?
Yeah, and it's nice that I have my own single room, which I guess is the norm here.
Yeah.
I like it.
Cool. Well, that's all the questions.
Okay,
Thanks
awesome.
for that interview. So I thought I'd just hop on here at the end and say that I hope that you found some of that helpful. And also I'd just like to say that I know a lot of people are concerned, especially about the social aspect of halls, and are really concerned about whether or not you'll be able to make a friend. And to that I'd say, wherever you are, you can make friends. And aside from the fact that you're not restricted to just your hall, like you can make friends through like societies or just going up to people. That's genuinely how I've made friends here as well, and just at uni through classes as well. But aside from that, I think that if you take some initiative and you actually go up to, like, maybe during freshers or something, like knock on people's doors, like introduce yourself, make an effort to meet up with people. Obviously if you're getting like, I don't want to hang out with you vibes, maybe like don't do that. I know it can be an intimidating thing, but genuinely if you're arriving, just like knock on their door and say hi. It really can't hurt that much. I personally did this in my first week here, and I went around with like some fretters, i.e. chocolates, and was just like, hey, introducing myself, you know, I just thought I'd hand out some chocolates, etc, etc. And yeah, it was cute, it was cool. And then like we sort of built up a group, and that we just like hopped along to the next person to like meet the next person. And like I remember the first person I did this for, he was like, thank goodness, because I was too scared to do it myself and I felt kind of lonely. And so there you go. If that is not motivation for you to try it at least, for the sake of someone else, I don't know what else is. I also wanted to say that I read a lot of reviews online about accommodation before I came to uni, and I was terrified. Like, some of the reviews were terrible. I had a lot of concerns, but speaking to all my friends from the different places, like, everyone's been fine. So I think it goes to show that, you know, the people who write reviews obviously probably some of the worst experiences, and like the worst case scenarios, and even then, like, the majority of places and majority of people are great. Yeah, don't worry too much, and good luck, guys.